Man, we were the manufacturing capital of the world. During World War II, they wanted to bomb Bridgeport, Connecticut, and the state of Connecticut. We had so much manufacturing that we were supplying for the war. Willimantic used to be the manufacturing capital of the state. Now they're the meth capital of the state.
Welcome to Lock and Load Podcast. My name is Josh.
And I'm Michelle.
And we talk to you about Connecticut 2A issues and some politics stuff, too. So today we're here with Christopher, I'm going to mess it
Lancia.
up. Lancia. Christopher Lancia.
In Italian, they say lunch, but Lancia is better in English.
Who is running in the 3rd House Congressional District against our purple blue hair friend, Rosa DeLauro.
Not a friend.
Not a friend. Chris, why don't you give a little background about yourself?
Yeah.
And then we'll dive into this.
Well, as a kid, I was born and raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Raised, and then at a certain age, I went in the Coast Guard a couple of years. The reason why I left the Coast Guard was I thought I had an earache, and then I found out I had 3 tumors. Crushed my eardrum. Thank God, everywhere they took care of me with a pension and all that. But I didn't realize when I was a kid I could have done more with them. But my goal was to take out terrorists and jump over boats, and when they took that away from me, I kind of went. Then I went back in the cable business. I've been doing that for years on and off, and then somewhere around 2016, I had a friend of mine that I was in the Coast Guard call me up and say, "You're overweight, you're old, and you'll never make it through Flexi," which is the Federal Law Enforcement Academy. And that was a dream of mine. So it took me a year, and the DOD hired me. So I went. I graduated that in 2017. And then I went and got my bachelor's in Homeland Security. When I was 50, I graduated. I have 2 amazing kids. My son Christopher's 14, is into wrestling and boxing and fishing. So he's out. I just got accepted to Fairfield Prep. My daughter's a superstar soccer player at 12, going on 25. She's all over. I have a shirt that says I used to be the boss and then I had a daughter.
Yep.
That kind of took it off. I've been active in politics for a long time since I was a kid. My dad was really big with the Democratic machine in Bridgeport back when they were Democrats and they were normal. Now with the craziness that's going on, the lunatics that we have right now. So it was always, I think, in my blood, because even my older brothers and sisters said, "You're going to be like Daddy," even though we don't get it. We're always button heads all the time.
Yeah.
So I never thought about it. Then he ran for mayor at one time, and he lost. He was on the zoning board. And then I kind of got burned with politics and got away with it. And then started seeing the way it was. And about 17 years ago, I started getting a little more active with, and I wanted to Republican this side. Because, being through the Coast Guard and stuff like you travel, you see different things, different areas of the country, how things are going. And they were taking our rights away. And with the Democrats, the guns. And I know
the further and further left the Dems
it's
have gone.
getting more and more now. So then I ran into a lady named called Margaret Stryker. And me and her hit it off. And she was running against Rosa the last time. So we got to be good friends. I got to be on her team, and I got to see how the race was. Mm-hmm. And I started doing political campaigns, helping people out, strategies, stuff like that. And then when this came up, I didn't really hear about anybody that wanted to run. I don't think people who don't know the race and don't know that you're not going to get the support that you think you're going to get. So you have to know where to go, where not to, where to spend the money, where not to. So I think I was a little more qualified in that area because I had ran the race once before.
But I think a lot of people think Rosa's seat is...
She's the most vulnerable out of all of them.
And see, they all think that because she's been there for so long, they think that seat is solid.
I got some numbers here from 2018 to 2020. And she polls about 56 to 64%, depending on the year, where the challenger, the Republicans, they're kind of 35, 40, 41, 42. I do see on here an independent named Amy Chai.
Yes.
That's interesting. She ran against her in 2022, polled 4,000 whole votes. Amy is the first congressional.
Yeah, I know Amy well.
Nominee. So that's interesting. She changed from 2022 to 2026. We got from 3rd to 1st district. Did she move?
Well, no, she actually was going to.
You don't have to be in the district, remember?
I do remember what George said.
She was going to run for 3, but then we met up, and she's like, "I didn't know you were running." So, and then she went into the 1st. Mm-hmm. And we've always, we talk. I haven't talked to her in a while, but helping her when she first started with the campaign.
I think
it's a rough area.
Yeah, and I think you probably going against Rosa with your history, would that race better.
And my district's heavily Italian American.
Okay.
One thing about we don't vote for anybody unless it's Italian American, or we just don't vote.
And let me guess, you're Italian American?
Yeah, I usually say American Italian. To be honest with you, I was born here. Yeah. I love my heritage. And I'm proud of it. But we're born here.
Yep.
We're not. We have that distinction. I always say that I had the best of both worlds.
Yep.
I was born in the greatest country in the world, and the Italians brought so much culture to this country.
Yep.
And I'm very proud of my heritage. But I fight with my friends with their Italian shirts and the gold horn and hey, how you doing? And no, that's not how we are. Okay, my grandfather had an accent, but it was because he had to learn 2 different languages.
Right.
So in that, like I said, and I think that helps out too because I resonate with my district. Spanish people are just like Italians in a lot of ways, and they're really like conservative. It's all about education, their children, hard work,
family.
It all combines in that. And I'm more in touch with it. I have a 14-year-old. I have a 12-year-old in the school systems. I know about with law enforcement what needs, to the challenges that they meet. And again, I'm 2A pro. I mean, I own my own weapons, and I think everybody should have the right to carry.
Yep.
It's in the Constitution, so I don't know how we came about like this. That way, you could be a felon just for taking a car ride over the state line. So, those are things. But getting, like I said, and now I just hopefully to be your next congressman from District 3.
That'd be awesome.
It would be.
You'd be mine. I love it.
So we got questions that are going to jump all over the place here.
That's fine. That's how I think.
Same thing we asked George, and we'll ask others if and when they come on.
Yep.
So Connecticut has not sent a Republican to Congress in many, many, many years.
20 to be exact.
What makes this the right time to run for a House seat?
Right now, the stars are lining up. I think the people have had enough. They're starving. They're hurting. The policies of Democrats don't work. And as we saw in New York, they're not even Democrats. They're progressive now.
Yeah.
If you look at Lamont, Lamont's got a chase now with Josh Elliott with that mindset.
Because he wasn't progressive enough, which kills me.
I don't understand.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I know what he's done to this state. You want worse, like more progressive? That's hurtful. That's going to hurt us terribly.
Let them go in fight.
Oh, I'm happy they're fighting.
That's the good part, Josh, that they are.
No, absolutely.
And they will. They get nasty with each other.
Because they never usually have the primaries. And
No,
this
it's usually
year,
us.
An incumbent governor.
and they're primarying all over. The thing is, if Lamont wins, he'll make, I think it's history. We've never had a 3-term.
Well,
governor.
that's why, so I've reached out to Amy. I sent her a message. Haven't gotten anything back yet.
Amy Chai?
Yeah. And the first is infighting a lot. There's 3 of them, right? With Larson,
On the Democrat
Barone,
side, yeah.
and
Is there somebody else? I thought it was only 2.
yeah, the tax
Gilchrist?
lady, Gilchrist.
Oh, that's right. She got the
15%.
I just read about that. Yeah.
I want her to win
And
so she leaves Connecticut.
And nothing against Amy. I don't know her, but Southington is the first congressional district, right? We're the end of that, basically. Because the 5th and the 1st go like that.
So much. It's crazy.
And I'm like, you haven't been here at all. At all for any events.
She's been on it. She hasn't been
it's nothing on really going on in media. And I'm like, you have the perfect opportunity. You have 3 of them fighting.
Yeah, but you know what?
Get out there.
She may still.
We'll see
it's
what
still
happens.
early yet.
She may be waiting
Get out
after the
there and
primary
work.
to see who's victorious in the primary.
She might, but a lot of times the heavy campaigning does
It usually lasts
start
90 days.
Yes.
Yeah, but you got Shea out there. You got DeBarros, and obviously they're having their primary.
I'm out all over the place.
You're out all over the place. George is out all over the place.
Which is good.
The
You have
4th
to be.
congressional district is escaping my mind right now.
The 4th is Jim Himes. That's Dana Messie's
That's right.
down there with Goldstein. They have a prime. Danny Messie and Dinah Goldstein.
Yes.
Mike Goldstein is down
Yes.
that way. And, they're keeping it civil, which is cool. I mean,
Yes.
we were all together at the state
Convention?
dinner they just had over there. And you know what? Like I said, you just got to be civil. But the timing is the time right now. And we're not blue like people think. When you look at the number, we're talking, I'm a big numbers person with stats, and that's just because of my job and everything else. But you need to understand that we are purple. The unaffiliates outdo everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't care what city you go to, they're always more than anybody else, and they're getting tired.
I hope
But
so.
we need people to come to the polls.
Yes.
And that's what we lack. Because if every Republican actually voted, we would beat the Democrats,
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
though they outnumber us, because they don't vote.
Right.
People say, you got to go to
that
the
was
cities. No, I'm sorry, my friend. They don't vote.
This last municipal election, towns across Connecticut and across the
The
country
last
got
one was
hammered.
horrible. It was horrible.
It was
We got hammered
disgusting.
here in Southington. We held town council. I got on to town council.
Congratulations.
and we didn't do that prior to that, but we lost a seat here, we lost a seat here, and across most towns except I think Berlin. I think Berlin held out.
We did.
There's some other little
Berlin kept
little
their
Beacon
towns
Falls held out.
held
We lost
out.
25.
Well, like Bristol lost, right?
Well, even on the state side for your House and your Senate, how many seats did we lose that last election cycle?
Well, that's 2
That
ago,
was
but yeah.
horrible. I don't
Yeah,
remember the
but
exact numbers on that
it
one.
was awful. I mean, I'm hoping this year we bring some back and we don't continue that trend.
The thing I'm seeing, though, honestly, like I said, when I went to the convention, I was kind of bummed out. Yeah, we worked hard. We had a little glitch that we had, and that's in the past now. Nobody's talking about it. Everybody came out pretty much united.
Yes.
There are some little pockets now that are trying to be stupid. Just mind your business. Let us go through the election.
Yep.
You know, I'm tired of hearing about Ben Proto, and I don't mean it in a bad or a good way. Ben doesn't run your campaign. You run your campaign.
Yep.
Okay, so if you're not a good candidate, there's nothing Ben Proto can do for you. All right, we need to just let that go. Now they want to start this uproar of change the state GP, or whatever, the state chairman.
Yeah.
Not the time. He's got an election coming up after it. Doing that now, what good is
the
that?
confidence. So, and like Betsy's throwing her name into that, and the confidence obviously wasn't there. She pulled 8.5% versus
Exactly. She was
Ryan,
on
like-
Lee Elk the other day, and she was saying about, the back door. Listen, people change votes on me, too, on the floor.
Yeah.
That's their right to do it. That's the way the convention's set up. Okay, we have delegates. I wish we could have just went straight to the polls.
Yeah.
You know, let the people vote this way. That's the best way to do it, but it's not the way Connecticut's set up, and you have to play by the rules.
Right.
And I had people switch votes. I had people going prior to the convention, and then they stood up, and all the votes went towards my buddy. What the hell's his name? The guy that's running against me,
Yes.
and who's a good. We talk all the time, and he's actually helping me out. And that was it. I brought him up on stage with me.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's tried just as hard as I did. I don't like all this nonsense where somebody runs against you, and you.
What did he pull for numbers?
Huh?
What did he pull for numbers?
I had 125 or 26. He had like 51 or 52. He made the ballot.
So he could have forced a primary.
He could have, but he didn't want it. He said to me, he goes, "Nah, I'll help you." Because we had always talked. We always said, and as much as as I campaigned,
Yep.
had he won, I don't think I would have primaried him either. I really don't think I would have. Not because I couldn't beat him or not that. It's like, you know what? He put the work in. He promised to help me.
If he got the
I
votes,
would
let
do
him
it. It's
go.
about Republican. And when I win, I told him I want him with me because, especially with the Spanish,
Yeah.
he's very good. He does so much for the community. I mean, the guy is. I can't say anything bad about this guy if I tried. So I'm glad that I'm friends with him, and I'm glad he's a part of the team.
Yeah, no, I think it worked out really well as far as the convention and what the ticket.
We have a good
Is.
ticket this year. We really do.
I think we just need to get to the point where we back the ticket and get the voters. I do
The
think,
voters.
getting
We
the
have to
vote
get
out.
people.
I've said
Big
it
time.
on other podcasts. I'm actually, for the first time in probably 20 years, I'm truly excited to go to the voting, go and vote this year. I really am, because there's actually candidates on there that aren't just
Milk
milk
toast.
toast.
Milk toast, yeah,
It's Michelle's favorite word.
That's my word. There's candidates I truly believe are constitutionalists. There's candidates that are pro 2A. There's candidates that are actually going to listen and fight.
Yeah.
I am so sick of not having any representation in DC.
We have none here.
I think this is the best ticket we've had across the board probably since Roland, which was not my time.
It was mine,
But
but yeah,
even with
well,
It's my
Roland,
dad's.
it was only, you had Roland, but you still didn't have a whole ticket. This has...
no, he wrote the ticket.
Yes.
To an extent, too, because we didn't have a majority then.
No.
But we didn't have the super majority where they had to work with us.
Correct.
The super majority is what's killing us right now.
Correct.
And we need to break it down a little bit. We need to at least get rid of the super majority. Get
I'm
things
okay.
done.
Oh, there's some really good state Senate candidates and House Rep
Oh, we got
candidates.
some good ones.
Like
I'm
a diff-
thinking that we can flip here, but then you still have 50 seats, I think, running unopposed. Maybe
Yes.
No,
40.
they brought it down. I was talking to Vinny Caldelora and somebody else. He had said something. Then I asked another question. We're at about maybe 20-something.
Oh, that's much
The numbers
better.
keep going, but it's great because there's 81.
Yeah,
Well,
that's better.
It's going to run out. It's going to end because you got to qualify for CEP,
Correct.
or CPE, whatever the
Yeah, but if we
CPE.
can get as many
Connecticut
filled as
Republican.
possible, that's
Yeah.
the key.
Listen,
Well,
At
hey,
least if they
Liz
run.
Leahan in Cheshire has an opponent now.
Yes,
and I was like,
Jeff Weiss.
whoa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Jeff's running against her.
I saw that, and I'm like, I don't know if Jeff can beat her, but like, she's not running unopposed because
No, you still want to run somebody so people understand that.
Yeah.
And
They have a choice.
But we have a good top ticket, and we're solid.
Yep.
And like we all get along. Matt Corey's a great friend of mine.
He's awesome.
I love Matt. He's saying good things about him. I've gotten to know Ryan very better.
Matt
Yep.
is,
He's very responsive.
Yep.
Matt is everywhere. When he's like, he's running for other
I
stuff,
don't know when
obviously
the
in the
man
past,
sleeps.
and he was at every event when
He
he's
goes to
not running for
everybody's stuff.
things.
Yeah.
And the dude's just passionate, and I think he'd be a really, really good
Well, he
lieutenant
has
governor.
support this time. Like when he ran the last time, that he didn't have support. He's got a good ticket. He's got good support now, and he'll make a great lieutenant governor.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And Ryan is extremely responsive.
Yeah.
Like if you call Ryan about something, you want to get something together, everybody is working together. And my campaign manager, Gino, who's in the District 17 on State Central, him and Kathy Hoyt, they make sure that whole 17 is everybody. I'm going to an event tonight in Woodbridge.
Oh, yeah.
Brooke is going to be there and a couple other people. and we're constantly working together. Like door knocking is not going to be a big issue, because but the RTCs are starting. This is the key. The RTCs are starting to work together now.
So we had our RTC meeting 2 Mondays ago, and Samson was there and Gail was there, and probably one of the best meetings we've actually had.
Rob's
Rob's our state senator here, and during that was kind of we followed our guidelines, whatever, right?
Protocol,
but it was a little more of an open discussion, and something that came down from Fazio's camp. Fazio's opening one of his, I think he's having 6 headquarters.
8 quarters, state senators
whatever the number is.
Supplying it, and all of us can use the headquarters.
Yeah, so Southington is going to be one of them.
Yeah.
Which is really nice because I think that'll help our candidates.
That'll help because you don't leave Southington, so that'll be good.
Yeah, there you go. Doing a lot of stuff here. I leave Southington on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
But they're using the same software. That was the point of this. Was the door knocking software, which we used last year for our municipality ones. It was okay. It was interesting, and they
it's come a long way.
Everyone's using it across the board, including Ryan wasn't using it, and then Ryan jumped. He's like, "Yep, you guys, GOP Central's using it. Let's just use that.
Yep.
Make it easier for everyone." And so they're actually helping each other and communicating. We have to. It's amazing. We're not
going to win.
But it hasn't always been that way.
No, it's been huge, and that's been the biggest downfall. Democrats never beat Republicans in Connecticut. Republicans beat Republicans.
Yep.
Yes.
And this is our time. We're standing strong. We don't have to. I guess you got the 5th that's got a primary. You got the 4th, but the big tickets are not being primaried.
Yeah, that's
no,
nice.
This is the first time.
So nice not to have to worry about a primary right now.
It is awesome to see this party unify the way it is. It usually is not this unified because Republicans, I guess by definition, which is not necessarily a good thing, but we all have our beliefs and we believe in them so strongly. If we don't find that perfect candidate, they're no good. Yep. They can be great on 5 different things, but if they're off on 2, don't want to vote for that one. And I've always held my nose and voted, but there's a lot of people that don't vote if they don't have every single check box.
Which only hurts us.
So
correct.
You got a Democrat elected.
And I think this year it's going to be better.
On our side, prior to the whole Aaron blow-up thing, right, we interviewed both her and Ryan, and Michele and I both liked Ryan, right, after objectively viewing them. But if Aaron won the primary, I'm voting for Aaron over Ned.
I would have done the
same
thing.
At the time. Now she's got a lot of legal trouble, people, so. Yeah. But there are people that went from Aaron, then they're like, yeah, Betsy. And then I'm like,
I would have
voted
for whoever was on the ballot, but I was going to try hard. I do believe during primaries and stuff like that, that is your time to fight and show who you are.
I would have been pushing for Ryan.
But when it comes down to the ballot, if your person doesn't win a primary or doesn't get on the ballot,
you go and vote.
You go and vote anyway.
You're still because you want to be Republican. We're still our worst Republican is better than the best Democrat.
Yes, well,
and I don't care what anybody says. Well, most of the time, I mean, there's still our values are going to be a little more pushed that way. They're not going to go after
There's been a few up in our state.
Yeah, there's one in the Senate I can think of. He's not rerunning though.
Huang.
Yes.
Bye bye. Well, you lose things. You lose people. I mean, here and there, but.
All right, but we're getting way off, so we should probably ask some more questions here.
Ask them all
and make it look like we're
a long time.
Okay, so how do you convince unaffiliated and moderate voters in Connecticut that a Republican can better represent them in Washington?
We look at the facts, right? We look at our property taxes. We look at our energy costs. We look at the price at the pumps. Our affordability is horrible. And we look at our immigration. But not only do you show that to them, now you start talking about policy, right? How do I make this better? Now, we all know first of all, you have to work together.
Yeah.
You have to get in the room. You have to play nice in the sandbox, what nobody's doing right now. Yeah. Because my business is always negotiation. There's a person that works here. There's a warehouse. There's logistics. Everybody has to come together in order to get a finished project. I don't like when people say, oh, my God, he worked with a Democrat. If that's the person that's going to benefit the rest of the American people and the state of Connecticut, then we have to work together. We always did years ago. It's just
as long as you're not selling your soul. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
You're not demonizing. Like, here's a power issue. People say, wow, what would you do about power? Nuclear power is one of the best, safest, cleanest things you can use. We have, and it's a threefold in this, how it helps the community. One, you get the construction, right? Now you got people working. There's building the plant. It just takes a couple of years to get one of those things up and running. Then you got the people that are going to be their jobs anyways, right? You're paying tax base. Yep. The towns, surrounding towns, get a tax base. I think it's in Thompson or something. That part of Connecticut has the nuclear. It's benefiting $10, $20 million a year going to people's budgets.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, what do you do with the money? This is a problem because every time we get money, we spend it, right? And we lose it. Because we don't have a money problem in Connecticut. We have a spending problem.
Right.
Now, the housing market is because we have so many illegals.
Yep.
And people are taking up space that don't belong here.
Right.
So the immigration enforcement has to be stepped up.
But if you listen to the Democrat side, they say that the illegals get absolutely no funding and no help, which is BS.
Which is a lie, but here's the problem. They have the media.
Correct.
The media is always painting that picture, but social media is helping us paint a different picture.
Okay.
You guys are different. You guys are a different brush now. And more
Yep.
people listen to social media than they actually listen to the news.
More people listen to podcasts.
Yeah, that you're
and I'm not
gonna
just
see.
saying ours.
But
No.
everybody's
Plenty
a
of them out
podcast.
there.
Look at Joe Rogan. He
Yeah.
got Trump elected in the end.
Yeah.
You know, to their son, and that's where we're doing it. But you know, public safety. You want to defund the police? Look what happened. I just did a video today. 2 brothers. Imagine being a mother and getting a phone call or a father. You just lost 2 sons at the same time at night for a club that should have been shut down anyways because there was violations prior to that. I'm hearing through grapevine. New Haven. You know, what are we doing? And I say this as being an inner city kid, grew up in the 90s and early 80s when we were the murder capital of the world. We had concrete barriers in the street. You need to let, like Roland did, you come in full force and you take them all out. And then you can go back to being a normal police department again and your community service and all that. But you have to fight crime. You know, you have to be more powerful than the person that's doing it. So I would give them as much military equipment as we could, like Humvees and stuff like that, and a lot of training. But people need to be trained too, because I've been in 2 police academies, 2 law enforcement academies, anyways, and they get a lot of training. But kids are you're spitting at, you're throwing rocks at cops, and I mean, my generation, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't put up with that. There
Our
was
parents would have beat the crap out of us.
And even as a law enforcement officer, I wouldn't put up with it. But
Yeah.
but those are the things you have to do, and you have to show people
Okay.
what you're going to do.
We're gonna jump to education and parents here.
Okay.
What role do you think parents should have in an education policy, and how do we fix the education problem without throwing more money into the same system?
Well, that's the problem. I'd like to see education come back to the states. We have 50 states. Everybody's different. If you come here, you go to Texas, different mentality, different upbringing. As a parent, we should have every right to look at what curriculum that our children are having. Because I went through this with COVID. Again, I have small kids. My poor son took him years to get back to normal. Being a social kid, now he's being social again, okay? They were behind on school. So we have to bring it back to the states. But the biggest problem, every time we bring something back to Connecticut, we don't know where the money goes.
Correct.
So what your point is, we can't keep throwing it. So we have to have an audit. We have
But
to have
those
people in
Leering
place.
centers are just everywhere.
What's that?
The Leering centers.
Oh, yes.
From Michigan.
Oh, yeah, they're
Michigan,
everywhere.
right?
Yeah,
Minnesota, whatever.
And, you know, homeschooling, it's good. I don't disagree with it. I've never done it. I had a cousin that did it. I was always more about wanting my kids to be social. And I think being in a regular school with different, like I came from a melting pot.
Yep.
We had Italian, we had Irish, we had black, we had white, we had Hispanic. So you get to know other people's cultures.
Yep.
And I think that's one good thing for me in politics. Because people laugh. Like, they say, yeah, I could drop you in the middle anywhere. And everybody's like coming out, hanging out. Because I've been, you've been around. And being traveling and work and stuff like that, you go. So I would bring back to the States, but I would have to put some kind of guardrails.
I had asked actually George Austin the same question because on a federal level, which is where you would be, you can throw money all day long, but if you don't, not just our state, I mean, we had
Anywhere.
issues anywhere. If you don't know what's being done with that money, and they don't have to be accountable, because we know Connecticut's not accountable for their federal funds. So you have to put the guardrails on it, but yet at the same token, you also want to let the states have some power, but some control over how it's done. So I think I'm happy to hear what you're saying as far as putting guardrails on these
You have to have a
things.
liaison between both, but that's reporting back. Like you're a congressperson, whether you're a congresswoman, congressman.
Yep.
You're authorizing that money to go.
But do you think it would also make government bigger by doing that? Or can you do it in a
No.
way to keep government smaller and have the audits done?
No,
you
because
don't want to create more jobs in the government.
No, because it's only one person that would do the audit. You don't need a big person.
Okay.
I want to audit from the state. The state has people they're supposed to have people.
So the
that do
state would have to do it and hand it
or
off.
They wouldn't get any more money, and you wouldn't get all the money at one time.
Right.
You would get a piece of it, and that's just like a normal work.
Right.
I don't get to buy a $4,000 truck or $50,000 without telling my boss why, or here's the numbers. Okay, so when I see that the money's being used properly, then you get more, and you have to piece it. And again, the guardrails are the key.
I like that. I like that answer a lot.
You have to. I control the bag. Now you. Do you know our budget went up $1 billion in Connecticut? Okay, and $16.4 billion of a $28 billion budget come from the federal government. So how much more money are we going to keep giving the state of Connecticut with 2 casinos, a lottery, a cannabis, and a state income tax? And I still got to give you $16.4 billion. So if you break it down between congressmen, they're all bringing in about $3 billion apiece.
Yep. And they're not
And
They're
we got
not funding-
potholes and crime everywhere in our education system.
And they're not funding the municipalities.
We're number one in
Enough.
debt out of all the 50 states. I think we're 49th in debt. We're like one of the top in the 40. So what do we got to show for it? Is it Lamont telling me we're going to save $34 on my light bill?
He's just getting involved. He's just starting. He needs another 4.
Probably 8 with him. Nice guy, though, they tell me.
Oh, yeah. Keep giving his wife no bid contracts.
Yeah, $330 million.
Do we want to jump into the 2A questions?
Good.
Sure.
Whatever you want.
All right. Connecticut gun owners often feel ignored or targeted. What would you say to a lawful gun owner in your district?
Vote. Go out and vote, because 60% of you just don't vote, don't cry. I'm a gun owner. I have one on me now inside a gun store. And I'm legal to carry, and I vote every election. Instead of hiring all these $1 million lawyers, vote for people who are 2A, who will give you the right to carry a weapon that's a constitutional right and not go to jail for stupid things, and then you won't need to. Vote. That's all I can tell you. Go to the polls.
I think they just, a lot of them, and looking on social media, they're like, oh, yeah, they'll just sue. Like, that cost a lot of money, millions of dollars.
Well, the key
and
word
it
is
takes
they.
so much time.
Yep.
Okay,
Give
look
that
at
money to the candidates so we can get elected in our election. So we can
Stop.
get media, and we'll guarantee it because we believe in it. We're going to vote for your rights.
Yep. And if
Like-
you stop it, then that money can go towards furthering other things in our, so we're not constantly
Like
behind the eight
jobs
ball.
and education
Yes.
and
Yeah.
businesses.
Well, and people are like, well, what's Fozzie going to do? Is he going to overturn this and overturn that? First of all, you need a lesson in civics.
exactly.
Second, he can stop any more bad bills with the word veto.
Yes.
Like, I think a lot of people, you know what? Maybe there should be a requirement, kind of like with your driver's license when you renew it, take like a short civics test.
I don't
right?
know that's going to help.
But maybe it would.
Common
Because-
sense would help if a lot of people. In Coast Guard, we used to tell you all the time, you could float any Coast Guard boat with duct tape, but you can't fix stupid.
I like that. I like
You know,
that.
that was an old saying. I got my first patrol. The chief was ripping at me about something, and I was the guy that couldn't fix with duct tape at that time.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Where do you stand? Maybe a loaded question here, pun intended. Where do you stand on federal gun control proposals like assault weapon ban, magazine limits, and mandatory registrations?
And red
I don't
flag.
agree with any of them.
Because they want red flag, because they also want to expand
Because we have to.
Yes.
But I think there should also be sometimes a psychological, like I had to go through in law enforcement. You know, you get some people, they walk in, and here's the thing, how I love, everybody should have the right to carry, like I said. And you have like a driver's license, you have classifications of driver's license. There's a difference between the 22 revolver and an AR-15.
Is there?
There is. It's a different way you hold it, the way you shoot and everything. There's the magazine. There should have been no capacity on the magazines because I could carry 2 guns, and if you're trained enough, believe me, you could drop a lot of bullets with a 9mm if you know what you're doing. So that's useless to me. You need to bring back what they should carry. An assault weapons ban, that was stupid. You're allowed to carry, so what?
There is no such thing as an assault weapon. It's a made-up word.
Yeah, well, they use that.
Well, made up term, but yeah.
Yeah, but we all know they were made for, and the AR doesn't mean assault weapon, like
Nope.
assault rifle. People don't understand that. That's not what it means.
Armor light rifle.
Armalite.
That's all it means, and it was made, for
by
that.
Armor Light.
But you should have a little bit more training before you're allowed to get that, because if you look at, and you guys know this better than anybody, you get a guy or a woman, they take a test, he goes there with a 22 and a 30, boom, boom, they shoot a target that close. Now they walk out, now they can get this weapon that you need to have a little more training on, I think, and
But
maybe a
doesn't-
second level of a degree of training.
He's coming at it from a military
and
aspect.
police, yeah, 'cause
Right, but
we have
here,
to train on everything.
If we talk about, as Republicans, we like smaller government,
yes,
okay, as a general rule.
right.
So when it comes to, and I get what you're saying, I understand completely what you're saying. I will say I disagree, only because
You know, in America, you could do that and not get in trouble.
I know, only because at the end of the day, it comes down to personal responsibility. Okay? If you're going to be a responsible gun owner, you learn about the tool in which you own and how to shoot it. If you're going to be an irresponsible gun owner, you're not going to learn, and eventually that will catch up with you.
Right.
I shouldn't be blamed because Joe Schmo chose not to get some training. I have my training.
But let me ask you this question. Throw it back on you.
Yeah.
You going to get an 18-wheeler right now with your driver's license yet, or are you going to go for training first?
But that's a privilege. That's not a right.
Well, not necessarily. That truck could cause more damage and kill more
Correct.
people than that rifle could.
But it's not a right
Yeah,
that
drive.
we are given in the Constitution.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I just had to throw it back
So,
on you.
no,
the way you have to think about things in a different perspective. And again, like Josh has said, my background and my training was we had to take that thing apart in our sleep And
Yes.
if you didn't qualify, you didn't carry it.
Correct.
So, and I'm not saying that has to be this crazy stuff that we go through, but just let them be a little more comfortable with it before they walk out, because you may not know how to use that, and you might need to use it in a gunfight, and you can't. You don't know what you're doing. You get stuck on
Well,
it.
you're an idiot if you buy it. You don't know how to
There's
use
a lot
it.
of
Well,
common sense is so common.
there is a severe lack of people taking additional classes, not because
Correct.
they have to, but because they should.
They should, exactly.
They get their basic handgun safety class out of the way, which is a lot of laws nowadays because of the whole HB 667,
It's been a long
and
time
then
since I got
gun
mine, so I don't
safety.
Yeah, no, the
Right.
state now requires us to talk about laws, which they
Yes.
never did before.
And then, gun safety. This is how you don't shoot yourself or someone else, which I think for a lot of people, unfortunately, goes in one ear and out the other.
does.
And then they get their, they go through the process, they get their permit finally, and then they can go and buy, Connecticut legal firearms. And then they never take another class again.
I know people that have bought a gun, gone through the permit class, got their permit, bought a gun, brought it home, left it under their bed, and have never shot it.
Never shot it, never cleaned it, never anything. Because you
No,
get dust
it sits
in there.
in the box.
You know what's going to happen if you get dust in your gun.
Well,
It's going to misfire.
the
You
one
have a lot of
time,
problems.
the one time that they choose to need it, they have no clue how to shoot it.
I'll be
Now-
honest with you. I haven't shot in a while because I just haven't been busy.
Yeah.
But I used to go monthly, but then it got crazy with the ammunition for a while on purpose. They were
Yeah,
jacking it up.
COVID.
And then we started buying that cheap Russian stuff to shoot.
And
But you
then
had
they
to clean
shut that off.
Yeah, but then you had to clean your gun right away
Uh-huh.
because the back, all the
Crap
lead.
ammo.
would
I
start
just
getting
think
weapons.
if we put more regulations on things, again, it's the government telling me when, where, how, and why. And I know we have a society today that likes to be told when, where, how, and why. They don't really want to think. AI is wonderful. Their job tells them what to do. The government tells them what to do. They don't have to think at all. I get that, but I don't like that trend. So for me, I still believe that we need to do this and be responsible on our own. I don't want the government to tell me, because once the government tells you, it's not really what necessarily is best. It's what the government thinks is best.
True.
And the government's not here to help us.
On that, what about national concealed carry reciprocity? What do you think?
What do you mean by that? Like,
So if you have a permit from Connecticut, can we carry in all 50 states?
yeah, you should. There's no reason for that. It's in the Constitution. You shouldn't even need a permit.
Well, so it does pass, it's been brought up a few times.
It's come. It's been
It passed
it's
the
on.
House, and it typically dies in the Senate because of the filibuster.
Yes.
And I know you're not going for the Senate. No,
No.
there's no Senate seats up right now. But
we
would
could
you
pa-
support national
Big time. in a heartbeat.
reciprocity?
Oh, big time. I was just telling you guys a story off air
Yeah.
where this guy was, I think it was Mass in New Hampshire, whatever. I don't know exactly, or maybe Vermont. But the mall's so big that it goes to 2 different states. This guy was a legal gun owner in one of the states. I forgot which one
Probably
it was.
New Hampshire or Vermont. And then,
he walking in the mall.
yep.
Somebody saw that he had his gun, called the cops, which he was legal to carry a weapon, and then he got arrested and he became a felon. For what? It's in the Constitution.
Yep.
So I don't understand how this all happened with these permits and how you can go to jail for that. I do believe in a background check, if that's going to be one of your questions.
No, I'm good with background
good with
checks.
background
I'm not
checks.
good with you background checks
No.
because Universal requires a registration.
No, nobody should know how many guns you own.
But I think a background check makes sense. And some people say no, that you shouldn't even have one. I do believe in a
I
background
believe in a
most-
regular one because you should be a criminal by law to have a gun. If you're a felon and you're a murderer and you think, or whatever it is, you're somebody armed robberies, you really should. But they get them anyways.
Most logical people will agree with the background check. The people that don't agree with the background check, well, maybe
Probably
there's
have
an
something-
issue
have something
that
on their
has some of
background.
that.
Well, then I think also because
But-
they keep talking about universal background checks, that's what
the
triggers a lot of
media-
people.
Yeah,
off.
that word. It's
The media
another.
will pound something in your head. Propaganda. The Germans started it in World War I, and we followed it. Malcolm X said it, in a speech that the TV and the news would be your biggest enemy
Yep.
when it came down, and it really has come that way. And
Yep.
like I said, a background check, yes, universal. Nobody should know how many weapons you have. That's no right to anybody. That's
Well,
your
they do
pri-
in Connecticut.
Yes.
I got 3 of them, 4, whatever it is. I forget. I don't-
Depending on how long ago you bought them.
yeah, it's been a while.
So if you had to fill out Connecticut paperwork, they have a record. So the reason they don't call it a registry as a whole, the people in SLFU, the department that does it, does call it a registry. But as far as Connecticut legislators and the powers that be, they go, oh no, Connecticut doesn't have a registry. It's because it's incomplete. So if you move into Connecticut with your firearms, you don't have to register them with Connecticut. If you
Get that phone
bought-
call about once a week, by the way.
if you bought
Yeah,
firearms before, like long guns, you didn't need to do a background check and you could do person to persons up until Sandy Hook. So if you had done that back in the day, that was okay. That doesn't have any paper on it either. So it's not a complete registry. So they call it a non-registry, which is kind of bullshit.
That's the way they word it.
Yeah. All right.
ATF 16.
That's
ATF?
ATF is an alphabet. Okay, so do you think Congress should be investigating delays, overreach, and abuses by agencies like the ATF?
Or other three-letter agencies.
I mean, I think right now the ATF has kind of its back down because under Biden, they were
this new
weaponized.
director, it looks like, right, there's a lot of pending things right now, but it looks like they're trying to revamp some stuff, make some stuff easier. They're removing the Clio thing from Form 4s for suppressors.
But I do think that as down in D.C., a federal, rep, I think, it's a good question. Like if you saw that an administration, whether ours, Democrat, because things are going to change, would you fight to make sure that there wasn't any overreach in these alphabet agencies?
Let me give you a specific example for you. Under the Biden administration, the ATF had a quote-unquote zero-tolerance policy.
Correct.
And under that zero-tolerance policy, and we're not talking about illegal sales, right? Nope. That's bad.
All right.
Guns going out the back door, bad. Okay, we're talking about what I'm going to bring up here is a clerical error. Right? Maybe you forgot to cross a T, dot an I. You put a 1 instead of a 2.
Spelled Glock wrong.
Spelled Glock. You just wrote lock. And stores would lose their licenses and their, if they're doing this as a normal retail store, right, their business, for clerical human errors. That's what the ATF was doing through Biden's administration.
They shut down over, 350 FFLs?
Yeah, it's all public record.
There's got to be some kind of like leeway or what do you, like a mistake or like a forgiveness.
And there is now.
There is now.
Yeah, but it should have been in because that should have been in place because now if you have a habitual problem doing this all the time,
correct,
you're spelling Glock wrong on 25 guns you sold, then I'm going to start wanting to open up your books. And that's okay because you're giving me a reason to look at you.
Right.
But if you looked at this person and you looked at their record and they've been in business 50 years and your two problems, it's kind of like, here's a warning, don't do it again.
Well, and there's human
It's like
error.
a speeding ticket. You can give a warning or you can give a fine, or even a fine.
Then you re-audit them in a year, right? You come back, you're like, all right, well, these are the problems, fix these. We're going to be back in 12 months.
We do,
right? And
we
then
do
come back
all
again.
Well, if you say, just think about it. A regular store does on a minimum, all right, we'll say, 5,000 guns in a year? And that's a low end, I would think.
Okay. I didn't look at numbers.
All right,
be honest.
We'll go with that. So
is there a gun ban going on? Because that changes things.
Yeah, that will change.
If you take a gun store and they have 5,500, whatever the number may be per year, all right, but you have somebody that has logged in those guns, logged out those guns, done all the federal 4473s, all the Connecticut paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork and clerical stuff in there. Along the way, there could be errors simply because you have humans doing the job. There is such a thing as a human error. You clicked something, you clicked pistol instead of revolver.
I did that a lot in the beginning, but I caught my mistakes.
Did you?
Did he?
Oh, wow.
Who caught those?
The lady I paid to come in and audit.
What is it?
But so we had an audit about
at least you did it. You caught it before I went. I mean, that's a smart business person.
So we had our first ATF audit about a year and a couple months ago. Yeah, maybe just about a year ago. And perfect, right? Perfect score. No issues. Nothing. Great. Fantastic. That's what I strived for and wanted. Was 0 issues. And I guess push that success towards a few things. One, if I have questions, I go and ask either people that know things and I know a lot of the things now because
you learn from your mistakes.
Or there's been questions where I just call my IOI, one of the ATF guys that does all the paperwork and stuff. And
That's
I'm
like your person.
My brother for all my tax stuff.
And then 2 is we have an electronic system. Now, that can be scary to some people that are like, oh, the government. But, it's a closed system.
It's helpful.
And it eliminates a lot of those paper errors, which is nice, too. And then when the ATF, comes in and is like, give me your last 12 months of paperwork, line it up on a table, and everything's typed.
Yep.
There's no, are you deciphering? Is that a 1, an L, or an I? Because it's typed.
Yeah.
So I think
like
that's
it
really
better?
helpful.
Yeah.
I've had an
He has
electronic
a nice
system since
system.
day one. Obviously, it costs money. We have checks and balances in place, right? We have the people doing the paperwork. We have someone else checking the paperwork before we file it away. And I think, obviously, at this point,
It's helping.
post-audit, we're on a very good track,
Well,
and we
'cause-
continue doing that.
And also, when
Yeah,
you
it's a
first
good thing.
open up a store and you get an FFL,
It's
you
difficult.
go through a training period with the ATF comes in and says, okay, this is what we require. But then
Via Skype during COVID.
But then you get into the day-to-day nuances of what comes up, and things come up that you didn't necessarily learn in your, you know,
I know.
5-hour training. So, you know, it helps to have those contacts. It helps, and you learn along the way and then fix the mistakes
I
you
was
made
having fun
originally.
with me. Yeah, even though I'm a consultant, this guy wanted me to have workman's comp to a job. I had no employees, but I still had to get a policy.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't need it anymore. I canceled. They're sending me a letter. I said, I got no employees. What do you need? I called my brother because he's a CFO. I
Yeah.
said, hey, we go, Anthony, Aunt, what the hell are you talking about? I had no employees. He goes, who did your paperwork? I go, me. He goes, no wonder why. Give me the stupid information now, your passwords and everything, and I'll fix it for you. But I'm like, I didn't know because I figured I had no employees, but they made me get it,
Yeah.
even for myself.
Right.
Well, okay, so when I didn't need the policy anymore, I dropped, and now they're asking me for like all this paperwork. I say, I don't have nobody. I'm a consultant.
It's hard. It's hard
Well,
to
you have
navigate
to ask the
through those
experts. Like,
things.
you're smart enough to ask. I went to somebody and asked. But I think they should have some kind of leeway. There's got to be some warning.
So that was your brother,
yeah, I have an older
Anthony,
Anthony.
Italian, and
Yeah.
we call him Aunt, not Tony.
No,
Yeah.
a lot of them do.
Yeah, we call it Aunt for
Aunt.
short. Like as a kid.
Yeah.
I had speech trouble as a kid.
Okay.
So everything came out differently. And my brother would bring me in front of my Italian grandfather who didn't speak English good. And some of the words like truck didn't sound like truck. And then I would get the worst beaten that you ever seen where everybody laughed. And my grandfather yelling, I could speak English, you could speak English too, not knowing I had actual a problem.
Speech issue, yes.
Yeah, so it was we grew up in a circus over there at the time. You know, I went for the state troopers. I was like 21 years old. And the guy giving me the test, the polygraph, was from Rhode Island, Irish guy. And he laughed. He goes, you're Italian? I said, yeah, why? I'm American, but yeah. He goes, I'd never seen kids get beat like that in my life. I said, I hung around with Italians because I forgot where he was in Rhode Island, but it was Italian-Irish section. He goes, you guys get beat with everything. Pitchforks, pots, pans. That's the way of
Whatever
life.
they grab.
Oh, they
yep.
don't care. They run down yelling at you. The boccia chin means I'll kill you. And I used to get that from my grandfather once a week.
Well, that doesn't sound healthy. Going on.
Becomes normal.
It's old school though.
Yeah.
We used to.
We didn't grow up
There
being
was
murdered,
rules, and they don't
Hard
only.
work.
There was no soft parenting and grandparenting back then. It was this is the line. Don't
kids
mess
don't
with it.
soft
believe me.
and child abuse are, there's a line there, guys.
There is.
I don't do it to my kids, but
It's good. It's good.
nah, my son, he doesn't realize what I laugh.
My daughter either.
No.
Are you going or am I?
No, I was just, you guys good trauma
We're
bonding
good.
there?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
good. We're on the same page.
We got this.
This is therapy.
It's because we're older and we understand
We know
real
you're
parenting.
old. It's okay. I tell you every podcast. Go ahead. 17, 18, something like that.
Okay. So inflation has hit groceries, utilities, rent, insurance, and small businesses hard. What's your plan to bring costs down on inflation levels?
Well, we have to generate more small businesses, and we have to generate more private sector jobs because that's what's going to bring in the money that's going to lower the inflation. The inflation has gone down. Eggs are down. Gas is. I even up here I saw $3.75.
I know. I can
But
get
there's
diesel
still
up the
price
street.
gouging though.
Oh.
There's still price gouging bad. But if you don't bring private sector jobs, there's no way to kill inflation. My opponent, we all know, was the chairwoman of the Appropriations Committee. We had the highest inflation under her and Biden at 5.0. Trump left, I think it was 2 point something.
Yeah, 2.9, I believe.
And then it went up to 5, and then he came and he lowered it down. So that's the best way to do it. We have businesses leaving Connecticut left and right. Gun manufacturers. We were the manufacturing capital of the world. During World War II, they wanted to bomb Bridgeport, Connecticut. And the state of Connecticut, we had so much manufacturing that we were supplying for the war. It was Willimantic used to be the manufacturing capital of the state. Now they're the meth capital of the state.
Yeah.
If you've
Yeah.
ever been up there, it's
No.
crazy. I used to work
Nope.
up there as a cable tech.
Torrington was the same way. All manufacturing. The Valley.
The Valley was big for that.
Yeah.
We had all the brass. My grandfather retired from the Bridgeport Brass.
Okay.
So we need to bring that back. I say this all the time because I get nervous. One of the biggest companies we have in the state right now, in my area, as my district, is Sikorsky's.
Yep.
If they ever decide to pick up, they're always threatening the state constantly. The last two contracts were given by the Trump administration, not by Rosa, Not by Mr. Himes, who wants to go there and toot his own horn. No, that was given by the Department of War and the Trump administration. But if they were to ever close, my whole district cripples. Restaurants, stores, people that supply paint to them. I mean, there's a lot involved. The tires to the helicopters, you know. And I know because I have friends that work there and stuff like that. I live in the region. We don't bring in the technology companies that we need to build them. We want manufacturing jobs, but not that pay $8,000 an hour to illegals.
Right.
We need people that are going to make a decent wage, 25, 30, 40 with benefits, have a 401k, pension, whether they're union, non-union, whatever it is.
Which is, we'll connect back to guns because that's the podcast here. Of how many, you said, right, gun manufacturer.
Colt, Charter Arms.
Yeah, right
That's
now
it.
we have Colt, Charter Arms. We have Standard Manufacturing.
But they pretty much
Connecticut
moved all their
shotgun.
operations out of Connecticut, though. There's no manpower there no more.
Yeah.
Ruger's headquarters finally left.
Yep.
Look
Bergen's
at
just a
Remington.
headquarters. Yep.
Remington owned the whole area of Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Yep.
They had a clock tower, a guard tower, and everything like that. So,
And
go
I
on.
mean, Colt has, while they physically
nothing
might
left.
still own buildings, they've shrunk. They still manufacture there, but probably not as much as they used to.
nowhere near.
And
it.
CZ
Malloy
owns
owned
them
that.
now.
Malloy chased them out.
Yep.
With his dumb thing with the stupid band. You know what I mean? What are you banning?
It's,
No, they
Criminals get them.
And I mean, we've seen. I think it was PTR was here also when they chased them out, and they went down south. But they've chased around a lot of
So has
smaller
Mass.
businesses,
Smaller
also.
companies.
Mass, Smith & Wesson used to be in Mass, and they
Yep.
chased them out.
But I
All
mean,
the liberal New England. the
well,
liberal
because
states.
this New England was the gun manufacturing capital.
Dude,
yes,
yeah.
we
We
did
made-
all of it, and now the concept is we don't care if they leave. They're bad people anyway, and it's like that's
your
jobs,
tax dollars.
taxes. I mean,
Look
you
at New
said
Britain.
even with gas, gas is being gouged. Yes, but we also have the highest gas tax, or one
76
of the
cents a
highest.
gallon.
And people go, "Oh my God, it's so expensive." Well, that's also taxed by the Democrats that are in charge.
But even us in Congress, we own Congress right now, we could take the federal gas tax off.
that
And
would
we
be
could
nice.
save another 22 to 26. It fluctuates a little bit.
Barely
We
have
the,
Congress. Republicans barely have Congress.
But they have enough to win.
Yep.
if the Senate doesn't filibuster something.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. Well, we got a weak leader on there, too, and he needs to go. No, he's nothing but a young McConnell. At least McConnell got things done, though,
Yes.
when he was younger. He
Yes.
was a shrewd player.
Yes.
He was a chess player. Now, we don't even know if he's standing in the room. I don't think he knows.
And to
Yeah.
follow up with that, with the small businesses, what would you do to support small businesses?
My first thing would
down
meet,
there?
I would love to meet with the small business administrator. I forgot her name. She was a senator. She's running that now.
Okay, I don't know.
If I think her name is. One of the main things the small business do, they give you a loan right away, but they don't give you a second loan. Like with the VA, like I use it from home loan. Once I paid off my loan, it's the second or third time I've used it, I was able to get another loan with them with great rates and stuff like that. Why are you not letting a person like yourself, right, Josh, you want to open up another gun store, go for a loan. Give you the loan with a better interest rate that you can grow. Like I always use the analogy of a bakery.
Yeah.
You get a bakery, you got one truck. Now all of a sudden you get 20 more stores, you need 2 or 3 more trucks. Why do I have to go to 14 different banks, fill all this paperwork out again? As long as you paid your loan in good standing.
Right.
No late payments.
Yeah, I mean, that's the credit's for, right?
Yeah, and you give that business owner a lower interest rate so they can expand.
Right.
You're going to make it back. Like, I
Right.
don't believe in the IRS. We didn't have it to 1913. What did we do since 1776 to 1913? We don't. And tariffs work everywhere else, but they don't work in America. I was on somebody's radio show last week. Tariffs do work if you build here. Okay? Stop building up. We had nothing during COVID. We're lucky we even had it. We're live here.
Yeah.
Everything was being, and we don't know what they were sending us.
This is a country of consumables or consumers. We don't actually make
used to,
anything.
though.
Correct.
Everything
and I think
from pencils to everything.
Well, so I was watching something on steel, right? And there used to be a humongous steel plant.
We're big.
In, I think it was Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh was a
Yeah.
steel company.
And the buildings are still there. And that's where, like, steel was made for warships and so much stuff. And we don't make any of that here.
Now we are. We came back. We're coming back strong. The problem what people don't understand, and the mainstream media won't let it happen, is that it takes a little bit of time what Trump's trying to do. These places have buildings, so the construction is doing well. But now the plants are going to open, and now you have hundreds of thousands of people who will have jobs that'll be paying into buying clothes, buying food.
well, everybody lost their crap when tariffs. Oh my God! Look at now they're coming. They're doing this. You can't do this. The tariffs are terrible. Now it's costing all so much
They're
money.
not.
The whole idea of it was to bring things back home because companies were just either buying it or shipping their
And
stuff
making
to be
other
done.
countries pay their due to us.
Correct. And this evens the playing field. And if we can be bringing back more manufacturing and more business into not Connecticut, but Connecticut too.
No, Connecticut.
Into the whole entire country, it'll save us money in the long run, and then we're more sustainable.
Well, just like we go back to education with trade schools.
Yep.
Why? I don't want to give Yale more money. I don't want to give Harvard no money. Harvard been researching the same thing for 100 years, and now everybody's still dying because the healthcare industry isn't for health. They want you to die because they as soon as you're broke, you're dead.
Yep.
Doctor will tell you, I'll give you 6 months, but if you're still paying, he'll give you another 6 months. You have no more money in the insurance.
Well,
But
the idea
you
isn't
gotta have
necessarily cure
education,
anymore.
Trade schools. What's wrong with working with your hands? I got 2 nephews, and I love both of them dearly. One went to all kinds of school. Becoming an accountant, maybe 10 years. He's going to kill me, but I don't care. And then the other one went to Chester.
Porter and Chester.
Porter and Chester.
Yep.
Became an electrician. E2 going for his E1. He's making good money. God bless him.
Yep.
No loans, no nothing.
Yep.
And we get everybody wants to go to school for liberal arts. Who's going to build a building? Who's going to put the lights? So you have to. That has to be a necessity.
Yep. Yep. No, I agree with you 100%. All right. 21?
I moved on to the next page. Oh, yeah, border security.
We
We're
didn't
going
talk
with
about
that.
that one.
Yeah. How does the crisis at the southern border affect Connecticut, even though we're not a border state? And ICE.
What about my friends? I
ICE.
like ICE. I went to academy with those guys, and they move on to other training. So, and the women and the men are great people. They're mothers, their fathers, their husbands, their wives.
They're people.
They're not out to hurt anybody. They're doing their job by federal law, by Congress enacted. The same ones that are screaming like dopes, out there screaming at the top of their heads, they can change it. It's Congress. They're only following what the U.S. Congress put into law. I agree with what they're doing. And you know what? Things do happen sometimes in the heat of it. You grab the wrong person, but that's what the process is for. They're going to find out that you're here. They're going to find out that you didn't do anything wrong. And we are. There's so many pedophiles. It's sickening.
Yep.
And murderers that are in our country. They need to ramp it up. We really need to have 21 million. This is not normal.
Well, they make it sound like when ICE comes in, even if you're a U.S. citizen, if you're brown or a different color,
That's not
you
true.
know, it's horrible, and they detain you and they treat you terribly. I'm going to share a little story because I thought it was rather interesting. So on my cruise in February, I met a gentleman who was from New Zealand, but he lived in Vietnam, and he's a travel agent. So he does it on the travel, you know, as he travels around. And he came into the U.S., got on a cruise ship, cruised with us for the very first time. The man didn't get off the cruise ship for 4.5 months. He just traveled around, had fun, right? But was working the whole time. We just got notified. He just sent out a thing because we're in a group chat. They came into Miami, and he was on the breakaway this time. And ICE dragged him out of his room naked because he had overstayed his visa by 28 days. He didn't realize that it had expired. He thought because he kept leaving and coming back because he was in different countries, it was okay. So
Not really.
So I was on the cruise with her in February, so I know who she's talking about.
Sorry. Yes. Yeah. So now he's in Dubai, but
Dubai, here is a lot of criminals.
he travels all over, and he'll be back in February to go on another cruise, I think, if they let him back in. But they just basically escorted him out and took him to the airport. Like, no, there wasn't this huge, and he goes, the guys were really nice, like overly nice. He goes, probably because I was naked when they tried to take me. They let me put clothes on, though. But you have to know, Corey, to understand how that all comes off.
And he's probably innocent, and he didn't mean to do it.
No, it was a mistake. But, like, he experienced it. And the funny part is our friends from Canada were all making comments and going, man, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. He goes, well, maybe you should have renewed your visa. So the Canadians are not upset that I came and took him off the boat. They're just like, dude, you got to follow the process.
Well, Canadian, try to get to Canada. They don't let you in.
No.
Even if you have a traffic ticket.
But
Canada's
I was just
extremely strict.
So,
giggling.
well, maybe 2 years ago for our anniversary, we went up to Niagara Falls, the wife and I. And, you know, we both have passports because we travel. So, like, it makes life a lot easier.
It does.
So, getting in wasn't horrible. They like, where are you staying? I'm like, we have a reservation. Like, you go through, and then it was to the left, and I think it was like a Marriott or whatever. It's like right on the falls too. And I'm like, they're like, how long? Business or like random questions. And I'm just like, we're here for 2 days, and then we go home.
That's what they'll ask you if you go over the Mexican border too.
So we're coming back, Okay. And we left earlier than we were gonna. We woke up, whatever. And I got like grilled by U.S. Customs. Like, dude, we have Connecticut plates on our car. We have U.S. passports. We're going into New York, which
home.
is one state between Connecticut. And he's asking all these questions and everything. I'm like, dude.
He might have been new.
I'm like, let's just use some common sense. It's 7:00 in the morning here. Our car, and like he's like, open up all the windows. Like, there's nothing here. It's not like we're burying back millions of gallons of maple syrup or something. Like,
on my way back from Arizona in December, we took the long way. And we went down through El Paso, Texas, which is that's a border town. Okay.
Big time border town.
So we're driving along, no problem. I get about 45 minutes north on the highway, and they routed everybody. So it says trucks go off. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I go up a little bit further. Cars forced off the highway into like a toll booth. And I'm like, this is weird. I'm getting off the highway. This is where trucks go to get weighed in, I thought. But okay. So I get up to the booth. There's immigration sitting there, and he's like, so I roll down my window. I'm like, hi. And he's like, hi, are you U.S. citizens? I'm like, yeah. Do you need to see something?
Here's my driver's license.
Like, because I could give you driver's license. I didn't have permits. I mean, my passports. I was staying in the U.S. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, are they going to, because I have a tonneau on my truck. I have all kinds of stuff in the back of my truck. I'm like, are they going to look through my truck? They were really nice. They had a dog that walked
90%, 98% are going to be extremely nice. You always get those ones that are on a power trip.
Yeah, well, the amount of cruises I've been on,
or he was just miserable with his life.
The amount of cruises I've been on, you just walk through nowadays, right?
Yeah.
They do some facial rec crap, right? I take my glasses off. If I have my glasses on, it never works. Take my glasses off, get the little green ding. You're all set. You move on.
Yep.
Like, Barrett can't, my kid, he's 13 months, can't go through facial rec. It doesn't work. So you have to go to the little officer. He has a passport. Passport was from when he was 2 months old. It doesn't look the same.
No, they changed a little
and
bit.
they look at it, and they look at him, they're like, okay.
Yep. No, it was funny. Like, they walked around, because, I mean, I'm sure they could, do I have anybody under the tonneau that I'm trying to bring in, that kind of stuff?
The dog would have sniffed it.
But that's what I figured out, because I'm looking at my husband. I'm like, this is different. I've never done this. And I would have expected it closer down to El Paso. They let you get in. They let you freaking go up the highway a bit before they're pulling you over. I was like, whoa.
Well, you would expect them to be right at the gate.
I did.
You got unexpected, right? You got caught off guard. That's part of law enforcement.
Well, because that's my husband wanted to go because he wanted to see the wall. He's never been to a border city. So he wanted to see Mexico. And I'm like, it's over there.
It's been to Mexico.
Not
that part of Mexico.
No.
Not the border.
All right. We're getting up there in time.
Okay.
So let's go to our strong closing questions, as it's labeled.
What do you got?
Yes.
Go ahead. Go with the first one.
What gives you hope that Connecticut can change politically?
That right now everybody's working together. The teamwork.
Yeah.
Everybody's united.
Yep.
I've never seen the unity like this before in like 17 years I've been involved. Campaigns are working together. RTCs are working together, and that's key. They don't realize how important they really are. The egos are still not where you probably should be, but they're a lot better.
Yeah.
People are playing a little nicer in the sandbox. We have different people on State Central getting more active within their districts. So I see that. We're still not being able to out-top them with money. But you don't need the money if everything is right. The social media is doing good. The ground game is good. The RTCs are helping you. You know, a lot of the stuff you're just trying to get out is because your word.
We need a Republican Soros.
Yeah, and the minute we get in, well, you would have thought that, like I said, we would have had more help from national.
Yeah.
I was out in Vegas with Stone and all those, and they don't want to come and help. And a lot of the people with Trump right now were people that were somebody in the 70s and 80s and are riding his coattail now.
Yep.
So they don't care enough. They want to be in the spotlight because of Donald Trump. But the problem is there's only one Donald Trump who could do what he did. I can never do what Donald Trump did. And these people that want to run around and think you're down. I may be born June 17th in a Gemini, but that guy had a lot more behind him than I did. But I got a good personality, and I think it's going to take me all the way to D.C., I'll be honest with you.
Awesome.
For someone who usually stays home on Election Day, what would you say to them?
You just cause the problems that we have. You're a problem causer, you're not a problem solver. Nice. The old thing is get involved. Don't be the problem, be the solution. Get out and vote.
We'll come back to 44 here in a second. Give us a closing argument. Why should voters in your district send you to Washington and not our purple hair not friend?
I'm not out of touch. My opponent has been out of touch. If you just look at her videos, screaming and yelling, nothing's getting done. She only comes around with money during the end of the election. And we need different views, somebody who's a little more grounded, somebody who actually works for a living, who understands a budget. You know, my opponent
Not a career politician.
I'm not a politician.
No, her.
Oh, yeah,
career
she's
politician.
Career. She's never done anything else. She worked for Christopher Dodd, and then she got the job here, and she's never left. So when somebody tells you, hey, listen, we saved 38% in the budget, and you're screaming at them like she did to Pam Bondi. Why are you doing it? We gave you more money. Exactly, but you don't need more money. We're cutting. There's 96 law enforcement agencies for federal. You don't need it. There's not, because I was part of the uniform. That's a lot. And each one has a uniform division. Because I was a uniform division. Like, you get Secret Service, you got uniform division. Yeah. FBI, because I went for them. FBI has a uniform division. You don't need all of them. You could take something
Postal inspectors.
You could take ATF and merge them.
Yep.
And merge them under the FBI.
Yeah.
Okay, and you would cut a lot of stuff, and you would just use them as the bomb squad. Like, you go to a police department, they have bomb squad, they have DEA. Everybody could fall under one agency.
Yep.
And you wouldn't have them fighting against Congress because they're all going to Congress to get money.
Right.
So it would save a lot of different things. But business-wise, you have to. I would run my office the way I would run my life. I'm not spending any more money that I don't have. She was the appropriations. I'll never get on the appropriations committee because I don't plan on being in politics that long. But I would get on the ones that were passionate to me, like veterans, you know, business associations, law stuff that my background fits me for, so I could fight that battle better. And then I wouldn't just come out for photo ops. You know, we just had 4 people die in New Haven County. 6 people got shot in the last 4 days. 2 brothers got killed in front of a bar gun. Imagine that phone call being a parent. You didn't lose 1, you lost 2. And I don't know I don't think they were involved in any shady stuff. I don't know all this, you know, logistics on it, but the problem is we need to. You know, I'm more grounded. I think my background fits it better going forward. And when you start to talk with us, you start to see that I'm really going to take the state into a different direction. And I tell people, even if you're not in my district, you can still support me. I'm here for Connecticut, not just District 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, because at the end of the day, the choices and the votes that you're making do affect all of Connecticut.
It does. Right now, there's no check and balance.
Correct.
So where can people find you? Website, social media, support you, volunteer, donate? Give us all the info.
It's Lancia, LANCIA, 4FOR, Congress, 2026.org. That has all my information on it. We're actually updating the website now, adding more stuff to it. There's also Lancia for Congress Facebook page, Instagram. You could donate. There's a donation link on that.
Good.
So you go, that's the thing. And I want everybody to realize we do not get any state money.
Correct.
All of us that are running for Congress right now, we have to raise every single dime. And people don't realize $25 goes a long way.
And you can get that from anyone. They don't have to be in your district.
I have veteran agencies help. You know, I'm reaching out to in California and Florida that are donating. Like I said, 25 and 50 goes a long way when you have 2,000 or 3,000 followers.
Yeah.
It does. And even people laugh at me because the way even my campaign money, I run it like it's my household money.
Yep.
We're not spending on stupid things. I don't want a campaign headquarters. I got my house.
Yep.
You know, we want to save where we can and spend where we have to.
Awesome. Now, do you need help with door knocking, with any phone calls? Do you need help with anything? If people reach out to you,
yes,
are you looking for help?
We're going to be doing more. I just ordered a bunch more material. I've been really fortunate. Like we go back to what we're saying with the RTCs. Mm-hmm. We're all working on it. So I know when Milford's going out and who's going out, and then we'll go with them.
Okay.
We also have stuff like that, but it's always good to like do your own thing too. But in Waterbury, I'll be working with Mike Grasso, who's running for, he's an alderman now, he's running for state rep, and he's in my district. So I've been very fortunate with that. Before where you have to plan on your own, kind of gets a little rough when you need that.
Right.
Well, I'm in touch with all the RTCs.
That's good.
And I tell them, hey, one of you guys going outdoor knocking in Guilford.
Yep.
I'll come up there. You're in my district, so we'll all do it together.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm doing, and getting some fundraisers.
Okay.
Like I said, to do that. But again, just getting our word out. And I work well with with the RTCs, so that's going to be a big help. The teamwork right now is what's going to put us in Hartford and it's going to put us in DC.
Awesome. So guys, if you can help out, whether it be donations, which are always very much appreciated, or if you can help out with your time. I know campaigns, some people think that that's a little scary. They don't know what to do. They've never gotten involved. It's not a big deal. It's not hard. And once you get involved, a lot of times you'll do it over and over with different campaigns because you just start getting into it. So reach out, check out his website, reach out to him if you can give any bit of help. We need to work together on this. We're doing a great job with the candidates being unified. Yeah. Now we need us to be unified behind the candidates.
Ditto. I got nothing better for that. That was a good closing.
Oh, that was great.
So, Chris, thanks for coming on.
Oh, it was a
We
pleasure.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me. I've been trying to get up here for a while since the convention, and schedules were
I can't wait to
me.
vote for you.
Well, I can't wait for you to vote for me. Then bring everybody on. We'll get a bus ride. But like I said, it's great now. It feels so much better running.
Yep.
United. Because I did this when it wasn't United.
Yep.
And it was pulling hair out. So
Yeah, it's hard.
And all you guys have been great. All the podcasts and just getting our name out. So it works out. I do
Awesome.
appreciate the time.
I appreciate you making the time to come on.
Now I want to go look at your shotguns.
There you go.
Thank you for coming on. My name's Josh.
And I'm Michelle.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Lock and Load Podcast is sponsored by Lock and Load Firearms, Connecticut's #1 rated gun store and pistol permit class on Google. Come check us out, 1573 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike in Southington. Lock and Load Firearms.
Lock and Load Podcast is also sponsored by Patriot Wear Holsters, custom-made Kydex holsters locally made in Waterbury, Connecticut. www.patriotwearholster.com and use code LNL Podcast for 10% off your purchase. Orders available for shipping or pickup at various locations.